So we're keeping it moving. This has been powerful already, and we are quickly coming to our final few speakers for this conference. It has been phenomenal. I don't want it to be over, but we're going to keep it moving because some more ladies have some great messages to share. So we're going to go ahead and cue up our next speaker, which is Avis Cherie, and her topic is "The Verdict is In. You are enough." Turn the stage over to you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Cheryl. I have been so encouraged today. But today I also came to arrest everything that has kept any one of you captive in pain and defeat. I want you to know today that the verdict is in and all false charges against you are dismissed. You are released from the shackles of other people's views and opinions of you. And it's time to turn your tests and moaning into a powerful testimony. But first, I want you to raise your right hand and repeat after me. Today, I am enough. Today, I choose to forgive. Today, I am set free from self-doubt, guilt, and shame. Today, I am worthy of second chances. Today, I will no longer accept or expect less from myself. Now clap your hands if you believe and receive that you are more than enough. You see, I came to speak to those of you who have been prejudged and tossed away, but even in the face of adversity, you chose to do your work. One of our awesome speakers, Courtney Lee Smith, said yesterday, we are more than survivors, we are thrivers. You see, champions never settle for defeat. They fall and get back up on their feet. And if that's you, I want you to type in the chat that that's me. But let's talk about how some of us got here. Have you ever looked in the mirror and no longer recognize the person staring back at you? I'm sure we're all thankful that we don't look like what we've been through. But how often do you celebrate all that you have come through? You know, if I look like all the verbal, physical, and mental assaults I've been through, I'd be unrecognizable. You see, my mother always taught us to never look like what we're going through. And when we step out the house, we better step correct in our best, even if we were living in a house of horrors. I guess those teachings taught us how to put on a brave face and prove ourselves to others, but it also taught us how to disassociate from our realities. Many people are taught to put on a brave face, but not a lot of us were taught how to build our faith. You know, when certain situations arise that challenge our faith, and in that moment, we often forget who we are and whose we are. We start the negative self-talk and doubt because it's hard to muster up a pep talk in the midst of our funks. How often and how quickly do we forget how God's grace has risen us out of the ashes over and over again? We don't always have people who are equipped to impart wisdom and also offer encouragement that we need to make solid decisions. We all know in some cases, people offer advice selfishly or that's more beneficial for them, not considering the impact it could have on you. Well, you know, I know firsthand about this. I was 16 the first time this happened to me. Displaced and pregnant, I could no longer hide behind the veil of what was going on with me and what was growing on the inside of me, nor did I want to. But I never imagine the level of judgment that would come with my unpopular decision to have my first child. I was instructed by several people to abort something growing on the inside of me on more than one occasion. And I get it. Maybe I was too young. Maybe I was too immature to receive their instructions. And maybe they just wanted best for me. But that's okay. I accept that could be true. But in hindsight, every time someone proposed that I abort something growing on the inside of me, whether it was one of my children or my plans and dreams, it began to corrode and belittle my view of myself and told me that I wasn't enough. I started to lack in my faith and did not believe that I was worthy. Type in the chat if any of you have been there before. Praise God. But see, I don't know about any of you, but every time I heard a negative about my potential, I began to stand up for myself by any means necessary. You see, I just started to tell people over and over again, it's not what you think about me. It's about you investing in my worth. I already knew I had something to prove to myself, and I had to prove that I was worthy. So I didn't ask a lot of people along the way. I wanted them to see that despite my decisions and my choices, despite what it looked like to them and their prejudgments, that I was going to continue to press on. And I want each and every one of you to know that you need to press on in the face of adversity. You need to press on and know that you are more than enough. Because had they asked, they would have known that at 16, I had already been through enough spiritual and physical attacks. God was using me and preparing me to be an overcomer, a chain breaker from cycles of abuse and domestic violence. If they'd have just invested the time, they would have known that I was going to rise up, and all I needed was an extension of their help. But see, a lot of people aren't positioned to do that in your life. A lot of people don't want you to beat the odds. And I'm coming today to tell you that you need to situate yourself in the trust and faith that you have in God. Understand that a lot of people are not going to celebrate you. A lot of people that should have been there to help you or could have been there to help you are not going to even acknowledge that they were all wrong about you. I want you to type in the chat that you can relate. I want you to type in the chat that I am lifted and resurrected from my past. I want you to believe in yourself, that there are greater things waiting for you. I want you to learn that you can open yourself up and be vulnerable, because your story is your testimony. We got to get out of testimony, and we have to stand boldly in what God has called us to do, in spite of the help that you thought you would receive, in spite of the naysayers from the people you would least expect. Understand that we are a child of God, and God will always bring us through. I want to tell you, when people want you to be normal or fit their mode, I remember a famous quote that I love by Maya Angelou that says, if you're always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be. You see, those are the times that you remember, in the dark times when nobody's around to talk to you, to uplift you. Those are the things that you need to remember. You need to always face yourself first, because that's most important. And I want to give you some nuggets to take away and teach you how to never give up on yourself. For one, always serve despite how people have treated you. Watch and preserve and guard who you trust you're enough with, because everybody's not worthy of your enough. People tap into your life, and people have droughts. They love to tap out your enough and leave you feeling insufficient. And always show up for yourself, the good, the bad, and the indifferent, because the truth always dispels a lie. And I want you to never walk around with your head held low. I want you to look high to where your help comes from. And remember these three things: that you are triumphant, you are victorious, and you are more than enough. So pick yourself up and rise up and meet your occasions. If you want to catch me anywhere, all things Avis Cherie, you go follow me on Instagram and Facebook or www.avischerie.me. Remember, the battle is not yours, but how you show up to the fight is. Thank you.